I lost the remote, so I can't just magically start it like I'm sitting in my chair. Today I wanted to start making my introduction videos. I don't know if I should start with the youngest to oldest or oldest to youngest. I think I'll go backwards. I think that I will start with Bailey, the youngest, only because she's the most challenging and most recent. It's easier to remember more with her, and that sounds awful, but when you have 4 kids, there's a lot of milestones that you don't remember which one did what at what age. It's really hard to do. I have to stop and think for a minute. Like, which kid? Like, they asked me what their first words were. I can remember Taya's first word, only because it wasn't very good. But I can't remember Bailey's, and she's the youngest. Anyways, a lot of you already know, but I'm going to go ahead and go into this. Bailey is my 7-year-old. She's my midget. That's what I call her. Her birthday is in October. She is my hip. I don't think that the doctor cut the umbilical cord all the way when she was born, because it seems like, oh, she loves her mommy so much. Not that I don't like it, but it's overwhelming. It's a bit much, a lot and often, and you'll see once I start getting these daily vlogs going, and you'll just see how much Bailey's around. And she's a camera hog. She's definitely going to be one to walk off with this and talk. I have no idea about what, but I do plan on letting her mosey off and share whatever her little heart desires. She's 7, like I said. This year has been eventful with her, extremely eventful. Earlier in the year, she was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder. That is, in a nutshell, you know, we have our 5 senses. Hers are heightened by 100 times. So, you know, blow dryers, things like that, they're loud and annoying anyways. But to her, it's actually causing her physical pain in her ears. When there's loud situations like a gymnasium full of kids playing and running, she's hiding in the corner plugging her ears because it's so much. Eating. She eats 3, 4, 5 things. Once in a while, we'll get her to eat something different, and it's a struggle just to get her to put it in her mouth. She's already got this preconceived idea that it's going to be gross, so the second it even touches her lip, she's crying, she doesn't want it, and we're just like, ah. She's very small. She's growing, she's healthy. Doctors aren't too concerned right now, which baffles me. I can't believe she's growing because she doesn't eat. She does eat, but it's the same stuff. She's not getting a variety in her diet, which is hard. She's in therapy. She's in occupational therapy. That's helping with the noise, oh, let me tell you, recently we had a visit, and there's a curtain that separates different parts of the therapy room. She had the main part at first where they do, you know, tumbles on the mats or whatever, and then another child came in for the other therapist, so they drew the curtain shut. We went to another side, and there was a baby with, my chair's spinning, with the other child that was there, and the baby was not happy. And it was screaming and crying, and Bailey cringed and plugged her ears, and I'm impressed at the fact that she didn't go into sensory overload. Like, normally when stuff like that happens, she gets angry, she gets frustrated, she wants to quit, she wants nothing to do with anything when she's in overdrive. I can try to catch footage of things. I don't like to put her in bad situations, but sometimes you just kind of have to. Like family events, for instance, fireworks. Most kids, hate fireworks when they're little. It's just a thing. I know I hated them too. They're loud. A lot of kids plug their ears. Bailey's no different. She just hasn't grown out of it, and I don't think she will. That's something that she's petrified of, but I do force her to be in that situation because it's a part of what we do. We go every year. We watch fireworks a couple times a year. She's just got to figure out how to cope. What else? During her therapy, they did testing for something called auditory processing disorder. That was a 4-week-long test. I was antsy. I could not wait for those results. And actually during parent-teacher conferences through the school, Bailey's teacher was like, oh, I'm curious to hear what they say about that, because she felt Bailey has the auditory processing. Long story short, the therapist can't officially say that she has it because they're not doctors. They can't say it. They just send the test results to her doctor. But she did say that she shows signs of auditory processing. That, I'm still learning. I looked it up as soon as they said they were going to test her for it. That, I think, don't mark my words, is where when you give direction into her, like when you tell her, go get your shoes on, pick up those toys and then grab your coat, we're going to leave. She hears, shoes, let's go. I'm guessing it goes in her ear. We're saying it correctly to her. It goes in her ear and her brain doesn't process it right. So what she's hearing isn't correct. We could be as clear as day and it's just not going in there right. So we have to speak slower, louder, one direction at a time. Bailey, go get your shoes. That's how we have to talk to her. And it's frustrating because she'll get that one thing done and then come back and we're like, now you need to go back and pick up those toys. She'll go do that and then grab your coat. You know, it's very one at a time. That I'm still learning. We have to go to an audiologist or something like that where they're going to run more testing to verify. And then also dyslexia. That, I hear, all goes together with sensory and auditory. All of it just kind of runs together. Her reading isn't right. Her writing isn't right. Her comprehension of reading and writing isn't right. She's a challenge. I love her to death, though, but it's definitely hard work. I have a great memory, so, I mean, I should take notes while I'm in therapy, but I pay attention to every detail. I have learned so much about her sensory disorder, and we've only been going to therapy for a couple months. I mean, on the first day, I learned that weighted, like things that are heavy, help calm her. I had no idea, and they said, this is the first day, they said, when you go home today, pay attention to the toys she's playing with. You know, if the lighter toys, she's fine, she's just playing around, but if you see her carrying heavier things, or, you know, pushing things, or whatever, things with weight, they said pay attention to what's going on at that moment. Why did she grab that? And I kid you not, that night, she was upset because nobody would play with her. Well, that's a huge thing too. I mean, she doesn't, the age difference between all the kids is so big. You know, she's only 7. They don't want to play with her. But she was upset, very upset over it that day. And she came to me with Walmart bags full of like canned vegetables and fruits and heavy things, and I'm just like, wow, it's true. when she's upset or her sensory's on overload, she likes those heavy things. You know, she likes to carry those. The weight helps in some way. Still learning that stuff too. You know, there's things that I can do to help calm her. I've learned the brushing technique, which is cool. Joint compressions. I can maybe show some videos of those too. Those really seem to help. The brushing, you'll see, it's kind of weird. It's just a really soft, plasticky brush, silicone brush. I'm not sure. It's weird, but she's still iffy about that. The joint compression she just likes because you just kind of push on each of your spots that can bend or move. You push them and something with that. Rubbing her back, just simple things. Wrapping her in a blanket. She doesn't like being confined, so that's tough. Holding her, no, it's not even an option. She's getting a little better with it, but oh, we struggled hard when she was like 2 or 3. Very clumsy, and she was always running into things or falling, and as a natural instinct as a parent, you want to go console them. While you're consoling, you're checking them over to make sure nothing's bleeding or scratched or whatever. No, Bailey doesn't have that. She still struggles pretty bad with that. If she gets hurt, instead of crying and whining to us, she just will curl up and get angry, and there's no touching her. We basically have to demand, you know, sit still, we won't touch you, we just need to see to make sure you don't have a gaping spot on your head or something, you know. It's tough. There's a lot that goes on with Bailey, and it's really hard for me to figure. I need to take notes if I'm gonna try to explain everything to everybody. She's in 1st grade. She does okay. Her grades are typical, I think, for a child like this. I'm impressed with a lot of the things, though. She's got a couple A's here and there, and reading and writing is a C, but she's doing her best. You know, we sit down with her every day and do her homework with her. Her teacher said it should only take 15-20 minutes. That's not counting the reading, but it ends up taking an hour or more. Just because of her sensory and auditory, it just, even the lightest noise, and she's like, what? And that's ADD as well, but that's part of the auditory. I mean, she's picking up on everything around her instead of what she should be. She's bubbly, though. I love this kid. She's imaginative. Her brain runs wild. She's one of those kids say the darndest thing type things. Some of the things that come out of her mouth, they're hilarious. I need to set this camera up to videotape all day and just hear conversations, because just random. She has no sense of time either. Like, it takes a minute for any kid, I think, to grasp yesterday, today, tomorrow type stuff. She does not. She will not. She doesn't know next week. She doesn't know an hour from now. She just doesn't get it. And so when she knows it's close to, we'll say Christmas since it just passed, when she knows it's close to Christmas, it can be a week away. And I got my big calendar. She'll count down the days and she'll X them off, and she'll know that it's coming up. But it could still be 5 days away, and she's like, Christmas is tomorrow, and we're like, no. No. And she's like, when I go to sleep, and then the next day, and I'm like, no. We still have 5 days. That's, I don't want to say it's fun. It's cute, but it's not fun. It's annoying. And when she wants to go to friends' houses, you know, it's, when can I go? And I'm like, at 12 o'clock. And I'll even write it on a piece of paper and hang it like on the microwave. And I'll say, when this says this, that's when we're going. She will stare at that clock forever. I'll introduce you guys to them when they're a little bit more comfortable, like in front of the camera. Bailey will be. Bailey will be like, yes, hey guys, how you doing? Let's go look at my makeup. Let's go do this. I'll show you my room. She'll be all about this. The older kids, they're not. They're not into it. They're not feeling it. I'll get them there. I'll warm them up. That's really about it for Bailey right now. I mean, her personality will show once she gets behind the camera. I don't really need to go into too many details there. Yeah, that's about it for her. I wish I had my remote so I could just be like, bye, click, but I have to get up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will attempt to get Kaylin done tomorrow. She's the next one, so I'll get hers done tomorrow. Maybe once I get through everybody, I can get a good family shot or something. The older kids, they just don't want to. I'm gonna try though. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.